Hello and welcome. Have you ever looked at a familiar ritual and wondered if there's something more going on, just beneath the surface? Well, today, we're going to dive into exactly that. This is an explainer based on some really profound material from the Inner Horizon podcast, compiled by Mir Ali Shah, and it invites us to look much, much deeper. So let's get right into it.
And to begin this journey in the right way, with reverence and focus, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So let's just start with the big question. When you think about that walk between the two hills during Hajj or Umrah, what do we really see? Is it just a simple physical act, or could it be something way more profound, maybe even a map of the human soul itself?
To even begin to understand this map, we've got to go back to where it all started. We have to look at the origin story. Because this isn't just any ritual. It's a ritual that is born out of hope, rooted in a mother's desperate love and her powerful choice to take action instead of just surrendering to despair.
This ritual, of course, is called Sa'i. On the surface, it's pretty straightforward, right? It's the physical act of walking 7 times between 2 hills, Safa and Marwa. But the name itself, Sa'i, that's where the secret is. It literally means to strive or to make an effort. And that word, effort, is the absolute key to unlocking this whole thing.
And the story is the incredible story of Hajar, peace be upon her. I mean, just try to imagine it. Left in a barren desert with her infant son Ismail. It's an impossible situation. But here's the thing. Her story doesn't begin with despair. No way. It begins with love, it begins with faith, and it begins with a mother's powerful instinct to act, to strive, and to search for water and for hope.
Okay, so we have the story. But now let's pivot from the history to what this means for us, personally and spiritually. In Sufi thought, there's this beautiful idea that every single action has 2 dimensions. There's the zahir, its outer form that you can see, and then there's the batin, its deep inner essence. Let's see how this one concept just blows the doors off the meaning of Sa'i.
So let's break it down. On the outer level, the zahir, Sa'i is a physical walk. It's a reenactment of Hajar's search. It's a historical ritual. But on the inner level, the batin, that's where the magic happens. It transforms into this powerful metaphor for our own lives, our spiritual state, our human struggles, our search for God. It becomes that map of the soul.
All right, so if this path is a map of our soul, what about the landmarks? What do the start and end points, the 2 hills, Safa and Marwa, actually represent? Because let me tell you, there's so much more than just 2 points on the ground. Let's unpack the symbolism. First up, Safa. Think of Safa as representing those times in your life when things are just flowing. You feel hopeful, things feel easy, and you feel that closeness to God's mercy, that beautiful, gentle aspect of God known as His Jamal.
And then you have Marwa. Marwa is the other side of the coin. It's the state of awe, of difficulty, of challenge. It's when we're really confronted with our own weakness and smallness before God's powerful, majestic aspect, His Jalal. It's those times when our prayers don't seem to be getting answered right away.
So you see what's happening here? The whole journey of Sa'i becomes a mirror for life itself. Those 7 circuits back and forth, that's us. That's our constant movement between these 2 states of the heart, the ease and hope of Jamal and the difficulty and awe of Jalal. That's the very rhythm of our spiritual lives.
But what's the ultimate point of all this striving, this running between hope and awe? Is it just about finding what we're looking for? The source material suggests something far more profound. It's about reaching a point of, well, let's call it liftoff, a point of complete and total surrender.
Think of the 7 circuits like this. You begin with hope. You journey back and forth, pushing through moments of doubt. The striving, the sigh, continues. You give it that final push of human effort. But that 7th and final step, it's different. It's no longer about trying harder. It's about letting go completely.
And this right here is the crucial point. The goal isn't just to find the water. The purpose of that final circuit is to exhaust your own efforts, to get to a place where you've done everything you possibly can, and then you just make yourself completely and utterly available for God's mercy to step in.
And what happens at that exact moment of total surrender? Zamzam, the miraculous well of water, didn't spring forth where Hajar was running back and forth. It appeared where her son lay helpless. It is the perfect manifestation of this principle, a divine uplift that only appears after sincere human effort has been totally exhausted and you've fully surrendered.
Sa'i, then, gives us this perfect model of the spiritual path. But okay, how do we navigate this path in our own daily lives? Well, the source we're exploring now offers guidance, drawing from the deep wisdom of the great Sufi saint Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani.
And the Sheikh's guidance is crystal clear. The ultimate example, the bridge to the truth, is the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. He's described as both the means to get there and the destination, embodying the perfect seeker who is also one with the very truth he seeks.
But this path of striving, it has its own challenges. The Sheikh gives some really crucial warnings for any seeker, just to remind us to stay grounded. He cautions against things like mistaking personal feelings for divine revelation, or thinking spiritual states somehow place us above sacred law. The message is clear. This path requires both sincere effort and sticking to that authentic prophetic model.
So, how do we take all these profound spiritual concepts and actually apply them to our own everyday lives? Let's bring this whole journey right back home with a final personal reflection.
The core takeaway is that our role is simply to keep moving, to keep doing the sa'i, the striving in our own lives. This means showing up with consistent practice, or mashq, in our work, in our families, in our personal growth. Our job is to just keep walking between our own states of hope and challenge, and to keep putting in that sincere effort. But here's the final crucial insight. According to the source, even 99% is not enough. That last 1% of ego, of self-reliance, of thinking we're in control, that can be the very thing that holds us back. The key, the real secret to that divine uplift, is nothing less than 100% surrender.
And so, we end right back where we started, with a question, not about a ritual in a faraway land, but about you. In your personal journey, with your own unique struggles and hopes, what would it actually look like to finally stop running, to exhaust your own effort, and to fully, completely surrender?
Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration of the Seeker's Path. This explainer was based on material from the Inner Horizon podcast, compiled by Mir Ali Shah, and I truly hope it's offered some light for your own journey.